Hello, everyone, and welcome to New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. Yes, I was very sick yesterday. I've got glands up already this morning, but I feel better than yesterday. I didn't think I was going to get up today. I was that rough, but a lot better today. And I will share with you what I was doing yesterday while I was sick. So it got things done, yes. And we have our good friends with us, Steve and Tina Jewell. So for you, it's morning. So a very good morning to you. And guys, go and check out their channel. Steve and Tina saying get well soon. I'm tons better than yesterday. I was like, when you just can't do anything, you just want to lay down all the time. So I got my embroidery finished. I felt a little better in the afternoon. So I thought I'm going to get that done. So I will share that with you, including the dreaded saddle. Yes. And I also finished the book I was reading. So that got two things done anyway. And I did sort a little file out. I had lots of bits of paper stuffed in a file. So it was still productive. It was still very productive. And then I just sort of lolloped in front of the TV and watched a rubbish film that Mike wanted to watch. And then did a bit of scrolling on my phone, which I don't really often do. Okay, so today is something very special to start with. And we're going to start with, we don't normally do this on a Monday, but something we will do today. I just said we don't do it on a Monday. No, we don't do it on a Monday. We don't do it on a Wednesday either. One day I might know what my days are. You would think I would with all my boards and calendars around me, but no. Okay, so we're going to do quiz time because I was talking on Friday on my other channel about how I've got a very special quiz for my friend Steve, who is watching now. So this is very appropriate. Because he loves my quizzes and my little games and puzzles. So I have honed in on one of his favourite subjects. And this quiz, Steve, is especially for you. So the questions are based on Old English TV and some speciality questions for you on Dad's Army, because I know that was one of your favourite comedy programmes from the 70s. So here are the questions. I'm going to give you the questions first, all based on Old English TV. The first question is the Hovis bread advertisement. Which county was it filmed in? So the Hovis bread advert, which county was it filmed in? And Steve's saying, I tried looking for an AI image to cartoon that, no luck. It's just very bad so far. Oh, okay. Oh, I love Dad's Army. Yeah, I know you do. But the first question is question one. Where was the Hovis bread advertisement filmed? Which county? Yorkshire. Afraid not. Everyone assumes it is. It was not filmed in Yorkshire, would you believe? It was actually filmed in Dorset to make it look like Yorkshire. And everyone assumes it is Yorkshire because they had all the scenery for it and everything. So that's a good trivia question there. It was actually filmed in Dorset. And if you look it up, you can even see pictures of the street, and they named the street and the town. But I thought just saying the county would be hard enough. Okay, question two. I'm sure you remember Bless This House. I love the film of that as well. So if you haven't seen the film from Bless This House, do look it up. But the situation comedy, if you like, Bless This House, I hope you remember that. The dad was a travelling salesman. That was his job. You didn't see him go to work, I don't think, but he was a travelling salesman. I don't want Steve Zero. Okay, so the dad was a travelling salesman, but what did he sell? What did he sell? This is quite hard. Astute Tourist is here. I'm having a little quiz with Steve based on English TV, Jimmy. Happy Hump Day. Oh, indeed it is. You had to teach me what that was. Do you remember? You had to teach me a long time back what that was. I said, what is this Hump Day thing? You had to explain. It's midweek and getting over the hump, the camel's hump. There is 2 humps if it's a camel, though. So Steve's guessing question 2. Oh, thanks, Jimmy. He's saying, please hit the like button and share up the stream. So question 2 was in the comedy series, if you like, Bless This House. The dad was a travelling salesman, but what did he sell? What did he sell? How's Jimmy doing? I didn't have time to come on yours. I've been sick. I've been sick. I can just about hear it in my voice a little bit, my glands. I don't think you can see them yet, but I can most definitely feel them. Most definitely feel them. I've just taken some medication. It doesn't really help much. I thought it would put me to sleep last night a little bit, so at least I slept, but no. Double glazing. That's a good guess, Steve. Dawn 2, Steve 0. It was stationery. It was stationery. Interesting. Stationery. Okay, we've only got 6 questions. Question 3. Let's go to Dad's Army. Dad's Army. So you should get these, Steve, shouldn't you? The Dad's Army questions, do you think? Yes, Dawn 2, Steve 0. Okay, but it's in your favour now. Dad's Army question. No, they're English stuff. It's because Steve has been having a little battle with me in fun with my puzzles, and he's got them all so far. So I thought I'd do a quiz devoted to his knowledge and see if I could beat him on that. Okay, so in Dad's Army, which has actually been shown in a lot of HOSO, Dad's Army has been shown around the world in quite a lot of countries. Apparently Australia gets all the British comedies for obvious reasons, but they get them sort of now. They're showing a lot of the old stuff. Anyway, question 3 is in Dad's Army. You remember Pike? We all know who Pike is, don't we? So Pike's the young one with the scarf, bit of a mummy's boy. Well, Mrs. Pike, his mother, in the programme, what was Mrs. Pike's first name? I think I might stump you on that one. What was Mrs. Pike's first name in the programme, not her real name? What was Mrs. Pike's first name? So she was what Pike? What was her name? Something Pike. I bet you don't know that one. Something Pike. What was Mrs. Pike's first name? So what was her not her maiden name? What was her Christian name? What was her first name? What Pike? Something Pike. What was the lady's name? What was Mummy Pike's name? I think I might have you on that one. And this is your subject, Gloria. Oh dear. Dawn 3. Steve 0. It was Mavis. It was Mavis. Got you on your subject. Question 4. Now, obviously, it was the Home Guards, and there were reasons why, if they were young enough to be in the army, some of them weren't in the army. Obviously, some were too old for the army, but the ones young enough to be in the army, one was Pike, was young enough to be in the army, but he wasn't in the army. What reason was he not in the army? Why was he not in the army? And I got this wrong. I thought it was another reason. Why was Pike allowed not to be in the army? What was the reason? Astute tourist cheated. What did you cheat on? Oh, you put the answer, Mavis. Oh, you naughty boy. You naughty boy. They actually have that, did they? Did they have that somewhere? Oh, I thought that was just me got that one. Oh, wow. Wow. Flat feet or his job? Good guesses. Good guesses. No, I thought he was allergic to something. He had lots of allergies, but that's not right either. So technically, I haven't got the point on that. It turns out the reason he was allowed not to be in the army, or wasn't allowed to be in the army, was he had a very rare blood group. So they couldn't afford for him to be killed or wounded in the army. He had a very rare blood group. Okay. Done by Steve Zero. Jimmy's saying the only English show I'm familiar with is Fawlty Towers, one of my favourites, Fawlty Towers, and Monty Python. Fawlty Towers is great. Okay, we've got 6 questions. Question 5, Walker was also young enough to be in the army, but he wasn't in the army because he was allergic to something. Maybe that's what I was thinking. But what was Walker allergic to that he couldn't be in the army? You can guess these, Jimmy. So he was allergic to something, Walker, that he couldn't be in the army. What was he allergic to? I know, the mighty bush. Yeah, I don't like that one. Yeah, you need to look up English comedies. Dairy, that's a good guess, but we didn't have fiff-faff people like that those days. Didn't have fiff-faff people. Good guess, though. Not dairy. I'm sure he could have still been in the army. It's quite funny, really. I'll say you're close. It is a food item. It's a food item. Now think on, what did they eat in the army? So if he was allergic to it, he couldn't eat it. So therefore he couldn't be fed. Oh, the goodies. I've just been listening to a podcast on the goodies. It's a really good podcast. Antibiotics. Good guess. No, it's corned beef. Beans, no, spam. Oh, you're close with the spam, Jimmy. It's corned beef, potatoes, no, corned beef. And that's supposedly what they ate. They took tins of corned beef. So he couldn't be in the army. Okay, last question. And this concerns the Mr. Men. Do we know the Mr. Men? The actual Mr. Men books, which Mr. Man was the first book? So which was the first Mr. Man book that was written? Which was the first Mr. Man book that was written? So that's a guess. If you know the Mr. Men, try and think of maybe one that's more well known and you could get it. It's a popular one, I would say. Popular one. Popular one. And that will be the last question. The last question. Never heard of them. Oh, you don't know the Mr. Men. Well, the Mr. Man book that was the first written book was Mr. Tickle. Mr. Tickle. Yay. So today, I think the clap has to go to myself. Big clap for myself. Yay for me. I did get you good. About time I won. You've been beating me all the time so far. Great job, Dawn. Thank you. I do clap myself. Okay, let's go on to quote of the day. So Wednesday's quote. I will be renewing these when I get 5 minutes and do some new ones for each day. There we go. Jimmy saying, watch Dawn's latest video. Blom, 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 blom. That's a funny link. What? That's a funny link. Are you sure that's the right link there, Mr. Jimmy? That's very, very interesting. Why is New England in there? Oh, there we go. That looks more like a link. And I've got a video coming out. I've just been edited. That's all right, not the first one. I don't know who you've sent me to there. There we go. I've ignored the first one. It's gone. I've made a video today. I've been editing. If any of you don't know, and Steve, take big note of this, there is now a new YouTube rule that's starting, particularly about AI, if you're doing anything AI, and anything else that they consider fake isn't quite the right word. If people have had Botox and then they're promoting a beauty product to make you look less wrinkled, so that's why I'm using the word fake. Any sort of misinformation, anything that people think might be real. So not just AI, but anything that if you're saying something, it's not real. If you're promoting something medical and you're not medically minded, all sorts of things. There's so many things. That's why I've done a whole video on it. And when you post a video, if you know where tags are, you know when you post and you put your description and that page where you put everything in and you put your thumbnail, all that. If you scroll down there, I don't know if any of you use tags, but it's just before you get to where it says show more, that bit, and then you hit that and the tags and bits come up. If you hit there, there's now a new section that you must fill in, and it basically saying, is there anything, I can't remember the words, I can't bring it up either. Have you got any of these sort of things in your video? And then if you use, say, AI, for example, it then puts a disclaimer up, like where it says, it probably doesn't say for you, but up in the top corner here, it comes up on your video to warn people that what you're seeing isn't real or has been changed or enhanced. All these things, it will come up there, much the same as if you're doing a sponsorship. And Jimmy, you be aware of this for your lives, because you use a sponsorship of the furniture place. You now have to make sure you've got up the top that it says your video is sponsored by, and whether they're paying you or not paying you, if you're advertising something, you must now have that in the top corner. As I say, I've done a whole video, I've edited on it. It will be up on Monday because I'd already scheduled one to come up on Friday. So it will be on this channel on Monday will be the video, and it explains it all. And if you don't have that, it's like a warning at the beginning of the video. If you don't have that in the top corner, then they will take down your channel. So do be warned. So both of you in the chat, basically. So Jimmy with your sponsorships, and Steve, because you're doing a lot of AI stuff now, you must now have this disclaimer things come up, and all you have to tick is yes or no. But if you say yes, then a list comes up of you have to then mark other things or what it is you're using. So yeah, I will be posting that on Monday, but be aware of that. Jimmy saying my hair looks good, thank you. Just been laying on it. Sharon's in the house. Hey Sharon, we've just been having a virtual chat fairly recently. So let's say hello to Sharon. And I didn't do a proper welcome for Jimmy because we were in the middle of the quiz. So do go and check out the Astute Tourist channel. Okay, let's do this. Sharon's just waking up. She's not been feeling too great. So hope you're feeling better, Sharon. When I'm done, I'm going to bed. We're at opposite ends of the day for sure. Okay, so puzzle piece for today. Steve has got them all so far. I might be the quiz champion today, but I'm sure someone else will be the puzzle champion. It's a little bit, is it hard? I'd say medium to hard. It's one of those you're either going to get it or not, I think. So this is it. Without it, I am dead. Without it, I am dead. If I am not the thing, I am behind. What am I? Without it, I am dead. If I am not it, I am behind. What am I? Sharon saying she didn't sleep at all last night. Well, I took some drugs, not sleeping tablets, they're just drugs. Drugs knocked me out. And I took some last night just to try and at least I thought, well, that'll let me sleep. Oh, I was tossing and turning. I was just so achy. I can't lay still when I'm achy. So I was tossing and turning. And I did the usual thing. Are you awake, Mike? And of course he replies, I am now. Oh, he's just put a video up today. So go and have a look at what he's been doing. Let me put his channel up. He's so pleased with himself because normally he gets me to edit. And then he said, I put a bit of your footage on the end. So let's put Mike's channel up, which is the name of our property, in case you wondered. So if you Google on Google Maps, Olive Farm Retreat, Cyprus, you should see exactly where I am. So let's say the puzzle again. Without it, I am dead. If I am not the thing, I am behind. What am I? Steve's thinking. Steve's got his thinking head again. Jimmy, do you know what that is? See how astute the Astute Tourist really is. And while we're doing that, let's see. Let's go on to what I'm promoting this month, a playlist to watch on this channel. gave me time to go get some more water. So it's not bad continuity. I am live, but my glass is now full again. So no time travel here just yet. No time travel. The astute tourist. The answer to the puzzle, a head. Without it, I am dead. Without a head, I am dead. If I am not ahead, I am behind. What am I? Well done to Jimmy. Jimmy got it right. So a big clap for the astute tourist. I said, was he astute? He certainly is. Well done to you, sir. Well done. Very good. You had competition there today, Steve. I'm sure you would have got it, Steve, in time because you've got them all. So very good. Well done. I don't know how you got that, Jimmy. You got one. You certainly did get one. Everyone's saying congratulations to Jimmy. Yes. So every Wednesday we have one of my puzzles. They could be anything and everything. You don't know what's coming up. Now I miss the rest. Okay. Okay, let's go on to this. So those of you who have been watching the Wednesday lives for a while would have been following my first ever embroidery project, my first ever, and it is finished. Yes, it's finished. And I know what Steve would be looking at, the saddle. Now, for any of you who don't know, I got this kit from a viewer to do. I hadn't done embroidery before, and basically the picture, the saddle, was printed back to front, and some of the connections of the saddle, how it went on the bike, were wrong. And Steve here, Steve from Steve and Tina Jewel, has been a huge help in helping me to discover what a saddle looks like and how it's attached. Okay, Jimmy's got to go. Be safe, Jimmy. Be safe. So with Steve's help, and I had a little bit of help from the company, they tried to help a little bit and suggested trying to copy it back to front. But then I said, well, if I just drew the saddle back to front over the top, the thick bit would be thin, the thin bit would be thick. You'd see the drawing of it underneath. So I've done my best with it. Of course, how it joins, the saddle joins to the bike, is not correct, but I couldn't cover that up. So what I've done with that is done very thin black lines, or else you'd still see the print underneath, and that looked like, oh, that would catch your eye to something there. So I've kind of still left that bit a bit wrong, but tried to kind of not draw attention to it. The saddle, I've just done my very best I could possibly do with that. But I finished everything. I did the handlebars, which weren't done. I finished outlining everything. I can't remember if I'd done the lights. I think I'd done the lights because I was asking what colour I should do the lights, and Steve said silver or black. So I've done those in silver. Can't remember if you saw those. I've outlined all the flowers that I hadn't outlined, finished those off, and all the leaves around them. And for the centre of the flowers, I've actually stuck some little jewels on. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. For now, I'm just going to leave it in the hoop, I think, and tuck the bits in, because I don't want to cut the extra bits off, because it is on a square bit of cloth. So eventually I might have an idea what to do with it. I might want it to be the square. So for now, I'm just leaving it thus. Let's tip you forwards a little bit. So that Let me turn the light down a bit. I might be able to see it better. It's switchy. Down. See if that's any better. Is that better? A little bit better. There. So there is the bike, the flowers. The saddle doesn't look too bad, hopefully. That is it. So, as I say, that's the best I can do with the saddle. The spring and the bit below the spring was printed on, so I had to leave it. But as I say, I just did a thin bit of thread because or else it just looked weird. And hoping that by doing that, you'll not really look at that bit particularly. But that is the best. And you can see the jewels on the flowers. I just finished off the flowers, edged all the green round them. And I think for my first one, bear in mind all the errors that were printed on there as well, which is what you don't want for your first project. I don't think that's a bad job. My favourite part are the leaves under the blue flower. The stitch I've used is quite leafy looking there. And I quite like the baskets. Again, the stitch, it's like you sort of run the thread and then do like little holdy bits in another colour is what I've done. The bike wheels, I didn't know what on earth I was going to do with those, but they're all different stitches. Everything on there is a different type of stitch. And what I've done, I've kept the, not the whole box, but I've cut out like the picture of the bike, quite a big square. And then on the back, I wrote each part of the bike and the name of the stitch that I used. So I've got a record of the names of the stitches. So if I do another project and I sort of go, oh, what was that I used? And I've put the page number of the book that I got the stitch from. So as I say, for now, all the extra material is there. I will probably just tuck it all in and then put it up somewhere. I don't know. If anyone's got ideas what to do with it, I don't want to frame it as such. As I say, I'll keep it in the hoop and put it out for now maybe, but I haven't got anywhere to hang pictures. I don't really want it as a picture. I think eventually I might just save all the things I'm making and then come to a decision with them. But if everyone's got ideas of how to use it, I will consider that. So that's my first ever embroidery. As you know, I always do cross stitch, but never actual proper embroidery. Sharon's saying, I like that, thumbs up, that's cute, thank you very much. And Stephen Tina say, looks good. Not bad, considering, as I say, that saddle was kind of created by following the picture that Steve sent me of a saddle to get a kind of shape that goes with it. And I think because I kept over stitching, I did like little sort of tacky stitches and then over stitched it. Makes it look almost padded now, like a padded saddle. So yes, not bad, not bad. It could have gone a lot worse. And the back is still pretty neat for a first timer. Of course, you carry stitches around a lot, so they start to get a little bit messy like that, but not bad. Not bad at all. Very nice to look at. Thank you. But as I say, don't know quite what I'm going to do with it. It will probably go in my pile of things done for now. So, of course, now I'm going to start a cross stitch. I'll be so fast at a seam after that because with the embroidery, it just takes forever to do a little tiny bit. So I'm going to be super fast. So I've chosen one of my cross stitches that I've got, one that's not done. So I chose which one. And this is the material that came. It's a kit. As you might be able to see, I've marked the centre, ready to go. Where the needle is, I put in, I count the centre, and I've actually put a bit of tailor's chalk there, just so if the needle comes out, I'll know the centre. And I was quite pleased to find this Ada or IADA, depends on where you're from as to what you call it. This has already been binded round the edges, which I've never seen it come like that before. So that's pretty good. So that's the material. Strange colour. It's sort of an olive green. It's an olive green. Let me put that back in the bag. And then with that, of course, came the needle that I've put in it. I like that you always get a needle when you get a kit, but I guess if it's someone's first time, they won't have a needle, because embroidery needles aren't sewing needles. They actually have a sort of a blunty end. And then all the threads came already like on there. They've got numbers as in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the pattern has got 1, 2, 3, 4, and a colour, like a picture of the colour anyway. So look, there's some very pretty colours there. Very pretty. So it's all of those make the kit. And I'm not going to show you what the picture is. No, a huge canvas, yes, after doing that tiny embroidery. And I don't know how long it's taken me. I have to really go back and look at the lives, because you followed it all the way through. And I don't do it all the time. Maybe I'll do a section on a Sunday. Mostly I try and think, I've got to do a bit because I've got to show progress on my next live. So it's what I call a Sunday thing, and I'll just sit maybe after dinner and just do a little bit, because I have to have bright daylight, so it's not an evening thing. I can't do anything like this in the evening. Yeah, huge canvas. I wanted to, and it's quite challenging. It's like across here and then many counts across another one. It's not like a big block of colour, this one. I wanted to challenge myself a bit because I've missed doing my cross stitch. So yeah, I'm not going to show you what the picture is. Mike said that's mean. I said, I don't think I'll show them, because then each week you'll see the progression. And as I say, it's not a block of colour, so you won't go, that's sky or that's grass. It's not a picture like that. And I think it might be hard to tell what it is, because as I say, there'll be a few crosses of one colour and then another colour. It's quite, as you can see, multicoloured. And then each week you can look, and maybe if you can guess what it is, see how quick you can guess what the picture is going to be. No, not a bicycle again. Can you imagine? I think I've had my fill of bicycles. But as I say, it's not a scene. It's not a scene. It's a picture of something. Let's say a tiger. It's a picture of one thing. So any guesses? And all these colours are in that one thing. It's not a rainbow. No. So I thought that might be fun. Good puzzle. Yeah, would you like that? I think that'd be more fun seeing it come along and go, wow, like, what is it? Rather than me go, here's a picture, and then you're just waiting for it to be done. So, yeah, I think I won't show you the picture. But what I was a bit cross with, the picture to follow, as I say, it's got the colours, but it's got the numbers. So you haven't got to work out the colours. They've got the numbers here. Yes, good. I was annoyed that they've got the picture, and it's quite big, the sheet. It's like massive, so I haven't got to like get a magnifying glass out. The page is like this, and they've divided, which they sometimes do, it into 4 parts, 4 quarters. Because some people like to start the top corner and work along all the rows. Some people like to do a quarter. Some people just start from the middle and work outwards in all directions. So I naturally thought the middle of the picture was the middle of these 4 quarters, because they've got breaks between each one. And luckily I noticed at the, let's say the first quarter, 2 like big squares of 10, you count in tens, decimal. 2 squares down from the bottom, they've got a little arrow in. And I was like, they normally do an arrow where the sort of towards where the middle is. And I counted the squares, and even though it's in quarters, they're not even quarters. So I'm glad I saw that. It would have been shifted up too much. So that's why I've now marked the middle of that, and I've put a big arrow on the chart so that when I start, I will know that don't start like in a quarter thinking that's the middle. So yeah, I thought that might be fun. And we see, Steve, if you're good at guessing cross-stitch pictures now, I'm getting your mind working in all different bizarre ways of different puzzles. So that's that. I will probably start that the weekend. I will probably start that the weekend. I've got a little thingy to keep it all in. Of course, I haven't got the picture. Picture's there. The picture's there. I could tease you and show you like a tiny corner of it, but I won't do that yet. I'll do it when you get bored with guessing what it might be. So that's all ready to go. So I'm pleased with that. Let's have some jokes, shall we? Shall we have some jokes? And that give me a little chance to have a sip while you're watching this bit. Yes, we have some jokes today. Steve and Tina, think about the colours. What can it be? Yeah, it's so random. And I wouldn't say the colours will give you a clue as to what it could be. Let's say it's a person wearing a dress. So the colours won't help you. The colours won't help you at all. So it doesn't really matter what the colours are. Doesn't help you. Let's say it's a vase of flowers. It wouldn't help you at all. So forget the colours. Okay, let's have jokes then. Where do they make medical items? Where do they make medical items? Well, at the Satisfactory, of course. What is the last thing to go through a bug's mind as it dies on your windshield? Steve's ain't got a clue. Yeah, the clue is there is no clue in what I'm showing you. Not even the background. What is the last thing to go through a bug's mind as it dies on your windshield? Its butt. Last thing to go through its mind. I went on a once-in-a-lifetime vacation. Never again. Yeah, you got it, Steve. Parallel lines have so much in common. It's a shame they'll never meet. And the last one. What did Batman say to Robin as they approached the Batmobile? What did Batman say to Robin as they approached the Batmobile? Get in the car. Get in the car. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. What else we got to do today? Oh, let's do this. Let's do this to finish with. Saying to finish with, we've got to play a game today. I've got a new game. I just saw it. So I was reading and I finished it. The Pursuit of Happiness by Douglas Kennedy. And I started off giving it a really good rating. Then I said there was pointless chat in it that was nothing to do with the story. And they were just saying things like, oh, you remind me of, and it would be a historical, I imagine, American. And then they go, oh, I read in the newspaper, blah, blah, blah. Did you see it? No. And then it would be a historical event. And it was just to get these historical things out there. And then the story got better. And then I gave you another review and said, oh, at least it's getting better now. But then, no, it went into another one of these conversations, not pages and pages long like the previous one, but back to that again. And then I thought, oh, for goodness sake, you could make this really good by making this happen. I would make this happen, or at least this. And then I carry on reading. When I get to almost the end of the book, both these things happen. I was like, no. And then it just ends. It all wraps up and it's finished. Overall, it was a good book, but because of the points I've just come up with, and because it wasn't a great ending and the two things were not at all unexpected, 6.5, because the majority of it was really good, but those things spoilt it for me. So as I always say, I keep good books I will read again. If it hadn't been for all those things, I would have read it again, but because of those things, it's a giveaway. So this book is going to find a new home. So that's what I've been reading, written by AI. Was you on when I said I looked up this man? I looked him up. Have you heard of the Flashman Papers? Is it a joke? I never know what's jokes with you and what's not. Have you heard of Flashman Papers? It's a joke. I know it's a joke. No, I haven't heard of the Flashman Papers. Is it a joke? Makes me laugh because I'm ahead of you, so I have to wait longer for your answers. So I got a new book out to read, and I just picked the Bully from Tom Brown's School Days. Oh, you're real. It's real. I never know with you. No joke. I never know, Steve. The Bully from Tom Brown's School Days. Do you know, I've read that, but I can't remember the book. And I was thinking about Huckleberry Finn the other day, and I can't remember a lot of that either. I think I need to get those books. I'll see if I can get them free on Kindle. No, I'll have to look at that. I'll have to look those up and read those if I can get them free on my Kindle. Yeah, so I got another book, and it was just one in the pile my friend gave me, and they're all mixed up, different sorts of books. And this is by Sadie Jones, and it's called Small Wars. And I started to read the back, and I thought, don't know if this is my sort of book. Until, and see if you can see what the until bit is, where I thought, oh, I want to read it. So it says, Hal is a soldier on the brink of a brilliant career, impatient to see action. His other commitment in life is to his beloved wife, Clara. And when Hal is transferred to Cyprus, she and the twin daughters join him. But the island is in the heat of the emergency. The British are defending the colony against Cypriots, schoolboys and armed guerrillas alike, battling for union with Greece. Clara shares Hal's sense of duty and honour. She knows she must settle down, make the best of things, and smile. But action changes Hal, and he's drawn in to take him not only further from Clara, but himself too, a betrayal that is only the first step down a dark path. Now, if you know your history, you will know that the British actually raided the Cypriot homes. They were very violent with them. They were looking for activists, if you like, and so forth, but they basically took over the lives of Cypriots, and the Cypriots fought back against the British, basically. So it's very interesting. There's already many places in here that I know of, and knowing the history from the Cypriot side, as well as the correct written history from the English side, you can see how the story is this man, Hal. He sees what the British Army are doing, and he knows it is really wrong. There's also a British interpreter, and he actually tries to make a stand against how the British are being very violent. For example, they're supposed to be going in and looking for guns and things like that and bombs, and they just go in any house if there's just old people there and destroy their stuff, throw it on the floor and all sorts of things. So this Hal realizes it, and the interpreter realizes it, but when they go and complain to the high authorities of the British Army, they get told to you'll be demoted, or the interpreter will be sent away. So it's very interesting. Steve's saying the Flashman Papers is written into history, very clever and funny. Well, that sounds good. Sounds interesting. Yeah, so obviously, as I say, there's lots of places where they go and where they stayed and villages. And so, yes, I'm interested. The bottom half of the picture is the amount I've read already. So you can see I'm into it. And as I say, because I was quite sick yesterday, I did a lot of reading. So that was really good. Steve saying, expelled from rugby and joins the army and travels the world causing trouble as he goes. Oh, I'll have to look that up. Flashman Papers. Let me write that down. Flashman Papers. There we go. Okay, let's play my new game. Let's play my new game. And this will be the last thing today. Let's play a game. So I like to call this new game of mine, You and Who. Oh, that's good, Dawn. You and Who. And today we will play Disney characters. So we play this game different times, but with a different theme. Today's theme will be Disney characters. Now, don't worry if you're going to come out with a character from, say, Warner Brothers, or it's not that strict. It's just to give you a topic. So it doesn't have to be Disney per se. So don't worry. And I don't want anyone in the comments saying that wasn't actually a Disney character. It's not a quiz now. So basically, to explain this game, is the theme is Disney characters today. So first of all, you have to start off by saying which Disney character most represents you. So start with that. So if you were a Disney character, which one would you be? Which is most like you? George MacDonald, is that who wrote it? George MacDonald. There. I saw one of your videos today, Frasier. And then when you've worked out which Disney character most like you, you have to say why. So I'm going to say Woody. Now, again, I'm not sure if that's Disney. I don't think he's Disney, but you know. So I'm going to say Woody from Toy Story. That was DreamWorks, wasn't it? Anyway, Disney, I'm going to say my character's Woody from Toy Story. And I'm going to say he's dependable. He's a friend to anyone. He likes to have fun, but he can be very serious and do the right thing at the right time. He likes to see the good in people. So I'm going to say I'm most like Woody. And don't forget, if you're playing this later, if you're watching later, do put your answers in the comments below. I love to hear your answers. And then you have to have your Disney family. Now, don't worry if things are animals. They can be like people. So you can have an animal, and don't worry about ages. If you've got a person, they don't have to be the right ages, because you've got to pick a dad from Disney. Which Disney character would be your dad? So as I say, it can be an animal, and it doesn't have to be a dad's age. So you've got to pick your dad and your mum, and they don't have to be in the same film. So pick a Disney character that would be your dad, and a Disney character that you would like if they were your mum. I've written mine down so I don't have to think. So I have picked for my dad Baloo from the Jungle Book. I have picked Baloo from the Jungle Book. I thought that would be really cool. He was fun, wasn't he? He was fun. But again, he was there, wasn't he? He was there when needed. He taught Mowgli about dangers, but he let him be free. So I would pick Baloo from the Jungle Book to be my dad. It doesn't have to match Woody. And then my mum, I have picked, I think her name is Mrs. Potts. Is it Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast? The teapot from Beauty and the Beast. Because she was quite, come on then, da da da, and let's have a cup of tea, and quite mumsy. So I've picked Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast to be my mum. Then you have to pick, you're laughing, who are yours? Then you have to pick a brother and a sister. So for me, I've picked any of the minions from, what's it from? You know the minions. I've picked a minion for a brother, just because that'd be fun, wouldn't they? Wouldn't a minion be a fun brother to have? So I picked a minion. And then for a sister from Disney, it's a hard one. You might need to think. That's what I say. If people want to think, you can always put in the comments when you've thought about it. That's why I wrote mine down, because I thought, yeah, take some thinking. So when you've got your family, then you can add it to my comments. My sister, I've picked Belle from Beauty and the Beast. She's just like sisterly, isn't she? So I've picked her. Then you have to pick a grandma and a grandpa. This is quite fun to choose. So I couldn't think. So for my grandpa, I picked, now is his name Giuseppe or Giuseppo, the puppet maker from Pinocchio. Isn't he grandpa-y? He's grandpa-y, and he can do crafts. Wouldn't that be cool to have a grandpa that could do crafts and make you toys? I'm picking him. And for my grandmother or grandma, I've picked, now this was a good one. I like a real grandma type. I think I've got the ultimate one here. The fairy godmother from Cinderella. Isn't that a grandma? Yes. Then you have to pick some friends. And I've picked, now I don't know if you know all the Shrek films, but one of the Shrek films, I'm going to say it's number 3. I might be wrong. They have to look for the prince, and they go to the school, which is Camelot, and it's like a high school. And they have all these princesses and knights and all that at the school. And it's very clever. The girls there, the school girls, are very like the film Mean Girls, those sort of girls, like, yeah, totally, and all that, totals, and all that sort of speak. I'd just pick those. They would just be fun. You have to pick a pet. So I'm picking Gromit from Wallace and Gromit. And I'm picking him because he's a smart dog, so you wouldn't have to train him. And he's very helpful and very loyal. So I would pick him. You have to pick somewhere where you would live in Disney, as in all the Disney stories. Which location would you pick? And that was hard at first, but I decided on Madagascar. That's cool, Madagascar. You know me, I like my islands. And then finally you have to pick a vehicle. Now I couldn't think of anything. I was trying to think of all different vehicles. I wonder if you guys would come up with a better one than me. So in the end I just went for Toy Story. They have the Barbie car, and that's all I could come up with. But I'm sure there must be, I mean, you could have Cinderella's coach, or I'm sure you guys could come up with a really awesome vehicle. So if you're watching this back later, do give me your ideas. So you've got to say who you are first, who's most like you, and then pick a mum and a dad, a brother and a sister, a grandpa and a grandma, a pet, friends. So they have to be all one film, the friends. They can't be this person, this person, this person. They've got to be in a film. Where you would live, which location, and a vehicle. So let me know in the comments what you come up with. And Steve and Tina, when you've thought about yours, and anyone else watching this live, when you've thought of your answers, even if you can't think of all of them, if you think of one, then do put it in the comments. And particularly the vehicles, because I'm sure I've missed something awesome that could be a really great vehicle. So there's something for you to ponder on. I always keep your little noggins working in your heads. So I'm going to finish there and go and chill out, and probably early night for me. So thanks for being here. Really appreciate your support. And I will be on my other channel live on Friday, much earlier than this one. So do check out the time in the thumbnail on my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. And hopefully I'll see you there. If not, back here on Monday. Until then, have a good one.